as you guys know, I'm a pretty big gamer. I've been gaming since I was 5 years old. I started on the original PlayStation. It was my dad's. My mom bought it for my dad. I can't remember if I've ever actually seen him play it. My mom said that she used to see him playing the game or the PlayStation, but I have no memory of it. It was kind of something that just my brother and I did together. I think that's also why I prefer multiplayer games as opposed to single player. But yeah, let's get into the video. I first want to start off by saying that these are not in any particular order, so it's not like it's from my most favorite to my least favorite, if that makes sense. So, the first game that I want to discuss is, well, it's not really a game. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It was more like a virtual reality, sort of a game. Okay, so it's called PlayStation Home, and it no longer exists, unfortunately. It was offered on the PlayStation 3, and it was free. So it was a virtual world, and it was free. I didn't have very many games on the PS3, which is why I played PlayStation Home a lot. It was sort of like a video game demo place. There were a lot of different realms. I'm not sure how many there were, but there was a lot. And it was basically like a demo, so I know that there was one space called Uncharted. And Uncharted is obviously a video game. And it was like a realm, and it was in like the desert. And you could play this little mini game where you like shoot enemies and you like dodge bullets and stuff. It was a lot of fun. And I was okay at it. But yeah, there was this place called the Playground, and it was kind of like New York City, but not like the entire city, just like a little part of it. And there's like a store you could go in and like buy new like threads for your character. There was like a basketball court and you could play with other players. I think that was probably like a demo for probably 2K, probably. There was like a stage, and you could like dance to music with other people. And then I know you could go upstairs and you could be like on the rooftop of a building, and then you could see like New York City, you know, like the Brooklyn Bridge, I believe. It was really, really pretty. There were a couple beach realms. There was a Greek realm at one point. It was very cool. I guess I didn't even really explain what it is. So basically, yeah, it's like demos. And you create your character, kind of like a GTA 5 character, sort of remember I got sad and I made a new PlayStation account, and years later I tried to get back on my other PlayStation account to discover that I was no longer banned. Apparently I was temporarily banned, but they didn't tell me, they just said I was banned. But yeah, I spent a lot of money on it, and they actually ended up discontinuing PlayStation Home in 2014 or 15. And yeah, basically anybody that spent money on that basically lost. Apparently PlayStation Home was just beta. So yeah, that's probably why I'm so frugal with money now. Also, I was in a PlayStation Home documentary. This guy named Mystic, he does a lot of videos on PlayStation, and he actually contacted me on Twitter years ago and asked if I wanted to be in a PlayStation Home interview, or do a PlayStation Home interview, and I said yes. And yeah, I think it came out in 2018, so if you want to watch it, I will put the link in the description below. My next favorite video game is The Sims. I pretty much like all of them except for Sims 4, which that's a whole other topic. I'll leave a link in the description below about why I don't like that game. I made a video on my gaming channel, but yeah, anyway, I really like The Sims. It's fun, it's chaotic. I really like, okay, so the way that I would describe it is, it's like writing a story, but instead of writing down words, you're basically creating the characters yourself in like a visual representation, and playing out the story instead of writing the story. It's a lot of fun. Now, I do love all the Sims, but the Herbs Sims in this city is my favorite. And people that don't play The Sims don't know this, but back in the day, The Sims wasn't just a create characters and basically play house. That's the way some people describe it, and I don't think that's correct. I mean, I guess in Sims 4 that's basically what it is, but The Sims used to actually have gameplay, like it was a game. Like it had a storyline. So for example, you would create a character, and in the first one you would start off at your mom's house, and you'd have to fix her TV, but you don't have, the electrician skill, so you'd have to read a book, get your skill up, then fix her TV, then you'd get a job, you'd move out, you'd go get a roommate, you'd have to help them, and you'd have to do these like challenges, and you could not move on if you did not get those challenges completed. And I remember trying to do them as a kid, and they were kind of difficult for me. I actually did end up finishing the game though, and it's a lot of fun. But anyway, so with the Herb Sims in this city, you basically get an apartment in this city, of course, and you basically have to gain a reputation to get into a club. And once you get into that club, you have to meet Darius, which kind of looks like 50 Cent, and he'll give you a power move. And when the city villain shows up, you have to do the power move on them. I feel like I'm explaining this so poorly, but basically there's 3 different villains, and they victimize the Sims in the city fusion machines. And there's also a sushi place, and that's also one of my favorite spots. But I would always start off at Kickdale Park. And then there's Central Station, and that's down in the subways, and that's where like the goth and punk Sims would be. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, and at the end, if you complete everything, Darius will give you his penthouse, and it comes with a monkey and a hot tub. Yeah, I really like that game, and not only that, but the black eyed peas are in the all the hate that it got. So, if you have the ability to play it, do it. Last but certainly not least is Life is Strange. It's my favorite game of all time. I wish I could live in that universe. So basically, Life is Strange is basically, it's a game where you're playing a character called Max, and you discover that you can rewind time, and you basically reconnect with an old friend, and go around town and they're like rewinding time, and you try to discover the mystery of a missing girl at school. It's a really great game and I recommend that everybody play it. It's definitely had a huge impact on me. And it reminds me, that again, life is short, and you want to be careful about the decisions that you make, because decisions can alter the rest of your life, the other. And unlike the game, you cannot rewind time. There are no do-overs, so I try to think about that, often, be mindful of the decisions that I make. But yeah, the characters are written well. I really love the art style of the game. The soundtrack is the best of them all. It's the best. And I really like how, they really pull you into the story. And just engulf you in the atmosphere of the game. I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If there's any video games that I should try, let me know. What are your favorite games? Also, let me know if you've played any of these games and how you like them. I hope that you guys have a good night's rest and a great day tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.